Welcome in, folks. We are back on the Fantasy Football Channel, back like we never left you. Kyle, we are through week 10. How are you doing today, my man?
I am doing well. I got some wins where I needed to get some wins, so doing very well. I think this is one of the most inconsistent seasons from so many teams that I've ever seen. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'm doing wonderful as well. I like that thought. There's not a clear, number one in the NFL right now. There's definitely some people at the top, but there is no clear, this team's got it.
Like the Bills falling to Miami?
Unbelievable. The Bills look more human than ever this year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Today we are going to recap some Week 10 action, discussing some injuries, some unexpected players currently. Finish with some flexible options, maybe some waiver wire grabs.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're on the border here, stay in the hunt, do what you need to do. Try and catch somebody to get hot to make that playoff push. Adam, what you got for us?
Alrighty, strap in, folks. We are doing a real quick rundown of the Week 10 NFL action. First off, what a sad game it was at Lambeau Field, finishing 10-7, falling to the Eagles, who had beat the Packers 4 straight games in many different stadiums, many different countries. Brazil game last year. The Houston Texans, Kyle, are you kidding me? Down 29-10 going into the fourth quarter against the Jaguars and coming back with 26 unanswered fourth quarter points to take down the Jags. Jacksonville, what an implosion. What are you doing, Houston? What a comeback. But, folks, Jackson Dart is the real deal. There is no doubts about it. He would have beaten a tough Bears team this week. However, there is one thing he needs to learn, and he needs to learn real quick. Get down and slide, buddy. As your ears are ringing this week and you're not really there mentally, I want you to think about one thing. Get down and slide with your concussion symptoms. Second to last, Buffalo Bills, as you mentioned, got walloped by my sketchy Dolphins 30-13.
I've never heard a dolphin referred to as sketchy before.
Well, they are some sketchy Dolphins this year, like all of them are. Let me tell you what. Bills defense looks terrible. Offense looks more than human, which is not good. They host the Buccaneers this week in what should be a doozy. The Bucs are currently plus 5.5 against the Bills, which I don't hate that line at all. Alt that to plus 7.5. Last but not least, Patriots 7-game win streak.
Wow,
7 in a row.
Who would have thought
Are you
that?
kidding me? Kyle, back to you.
All right. Yeah, I love the rundown. The Dolphins, they are like, whenever you think they're completely counted out, we're going to go you and show you how good we still are. Like, what happened? You were very pleased with Devon Achane. I had a 40-point performance from him in a PPR league, so that was pretty sick.
Yep. Achane, what a stud.
Patriots, Travion Henderson had the breakout. Wow. Finally, I guess, like we said, sometimes those rookies have a strong second half of the year. Could this be his time?
Yep. All I needed was Stevenson to sit on the bench one time, and poof, he is arisen.
I guess so. Some big news. Joe Burrow back to practice. I'm telling you guys, this is a stash and scoop, especially in a super flex format if he's available, or a 2QB. He's got 21 days to be activated.
Wow, that could be nice for a good playoff push for some teams out there.
Yes, for sure. Player injuries. I'll start us off. G. Wilson, 3 to 4 weeks with a knee sprain. You want to say anything about that?
No, not good. He's already been down a couple weeks, sprained the ligament, going to be down a couple more. You hope to get him back week 14 by the playoffs.
Yeah. Bucky Irving. This guy's been really rough for managers all season. I know you have some shares. What's going on with him?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played, since week 4. He had 2 injuries when he went out with, and his shoulder is much worse than they let on, and that seems to be evident. And even worse, there's no timetable. The head coach keeps dancing around timetable for him, which is not good. What this means is keep Rashad Wright rostered and in your lineup until you see Bucky Irving practicing in pads, because without that, it looks like he is going to sit on the sidelines for quite some time. Yeah.
Kim. Romeo Dobbs. Chest injury, came out of the Monday Night Football game that the Packers just look like crap. They are terrible. One of the culprits of looking great one week, looking terrible the next. That was a real defensive game last night. Wow. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck didn't have anything to say. They kept It was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I think the sad part about that is the Eagles nor the Packers have an elite defense. They have good
No.
defenses. So for both of
Yeah.
those offenses to look that bad, I don't think it's that much of a kudos. I think it's just the offenses are that bad right now. Both of these offenses on these teams are high powered and got to get it figured out in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, Green Bay, I mean, Jordan Love does not look good.
He
The
looks
best
terrible.
weapon in Tucker Craft is gone for the season. Those
Yep.
too big of shoes for Musgrave. He's just so much better of a player.
Golden and Dobbs now down. That doesn't help. But
Golden,
still, these are
Dobbs.
excuses for looking terrible.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So I don't know what to say. They are very tough for fantasy right now. Obviously, Josh Jacobs is still a must start in any format. Packers
Yeah.
receivers, it's just a gamble no matter what.
Yeah.
You don't have Kraft.
Christian Watson. I think the only thing to hedge you there, Christian Watson is looking to be like the only startable Packers wide receiver right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've made that mistake in the years past, and then he puts up duds for you, and then he'll
Yeah.
occasionally have a big performance.
Yeah,
So
well, with
he's a
Golden
really
and
boom bust player. If
yes,
you
he
have
is.
him and you need him in your flex, that's the absolute only time I would consider playing him.
Well,
I would
yeah,
really like Jaden Reed to come back because I think he's the best all around receiving weapon on that team.
yeah, but he's not there yet. And with
He's not
Dobbs
there
and
yet.
Golden being out, Watson actually has some value to be startable as a wide receiver too, if Golden and Dobbs are both out.
Yep. Dart looks great. Suffered a concussion. He's in concussion protocol. Brian Thomas, man, this is one of the most disappointing high drafted receivers in fantasy this year for Jacksonville. Didn't play again last week. Has an ankle injury. Anything you want to say on him?
No, disappointing is a great word for it. Hopefully he comes back this week with Travis Hunter also being down. You'd really like to see him and Brian Thomas and Trevor kind of reconnect as this season gets to a close here.
This was one of my fears last year when we did the off-season homework and we found out that so much of his production came from the backup quarterback. I think it was maybe Mac Jones. It was somebody else, but it wasn't Trevor Lawrence. So
Yeah, I don't know whose
it's
fault
like
this is, but
they have not yet put this together yet. Brian Thomas had his great stats and end of the season last year with a different quarterback.
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Scary Terry, another very disappointing diva. That should have been the title of this: Disappointing Divas after week 10. Scary Terry, another week that doesn't play. I mean,
Yep, quadriceps, soft tissue, can't rush it back. Doesn't have any timetable to be back this week yet. Hopefully he is, but nothing is certain.
Kincaid, hamstring injury considered week to week. All right, that's enough with those disappointing divas, let's call it. Let's talk some
let's talk about
unexpected guys who are
Yep.
shining bright
Yep.
like a diamond. Go ahead, Adam.
Absolutely. I'm going to start with one that's been shining bright on the year, especially in compared to ADP, and that is Chris Olave. He is inching closer and closer to being a top 10 wide receiver right now. In PPR, he probably already is, and he was drafted well outside of wide receiver 30 in terms of within these drafts. So there's some serious value. He gets 8 to 10 targets a game. He's making do with whatever crappy quarterback they put out there, and he had a couple nasty one-handed grab last week that was beautiful. So Chris Olave, kudos to you, man. Way to get it done by any means necessary. Keep on grinding. Someone that's unexpected.
I'll throw
I'm
one
taking
out you. Tez Johnson, unexpected. He's kind of been on the come up here with the wide receiver injuries for Tampa Bay. 20 points last week against New England. 83% snap share. The week before, 71% snap share, 10 points. Week before that, 15 points, 68%. And then 11 points before that, 72. So to me, he is becoming a more consistent option for people. If there's a chance he's available at all, I like him for a flexible candidate going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. On the flip side of some unexpectedness, Bijan Robinson, the last 3 weeks has gone ice cold. He has had some tough matchups, but in the standard leagues last 3 weeks, he has put up under 10 points. Algier is vulturing some touchdowns.
Algier
is
has
getting in there.
Outperformed. What is going on with this?
I saw something online that was hilarious that speaks to this, is when Bijan Robinson gets to the ball, his track to the end zone, and it's up and down, he's got to hurl over, and then Tyler Algier's track to the end zone, wide open runway. It does seem like he gets quite the clear
Mm.
blocking. I don't know how that works out, but nonetheless, it's hilarious. However, I do expect this to change for Bijan. Past 3 weeks have been very, very quiet. The next 3 weeks, he has Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, and the New York Jets coming up. So he is going to get ready for some bully ball, and he'll be getting in the double digits, I think, for the next 3 weeks going forward.
Yeah, it certainly makes Algier become a flexible candidate here, though, with his
Mm-hmm.
touchdown performance, especially in standard scoring.
Yep.
I'm going to give you some other shout outs from week 10. Jaden
Yeah.
Higgins had a 15-point week
Oh
with
boy.
Davis Mills at quarterback. Jalen Naylor, 23 points on a 68% snap share count. Biggest week of the year. And Mac Hollins, good old barefoot man,
Mr. Barefoot.
coming in with 16 points and 79% snap share on 10 targets. So shout out to some of those week 10 performances. Most of them probably not in anybody's lineup, but maybe.
Yep. Alrighty. Anything else on the unexpected so far?
I mean, we could go deep, but that's enough for
That's
this week 10 right now.
too
I
deep.
want to talk about Woody Marks a little bit here. Outperformed Chubb. And was there an injury to Chubb at all?
No, there was an injury to Woody Marks, and he actually went out of the game and then re-entered into the game and still got all the carries.
The snap percentage I see from last week is 13% for Chubb, 80% for Woody Marks. Woody Marks, 14 carries, 63 yards, 4.5 yards a clip, and a touchdown. Nick Chubb, 5 attempts, 47 yards, 9.4 yards a carry, no touchdowns. Very interesting to see why Woody has gotten so much more of the snap share there.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear the direction they're headed. They're headed with the younger guy.
You know
Woody
what?
Marks looks more aggressive. He's looking better out there.
That was also a game when they were behind, and he's probably the better
Yeah.
pass catching option.
Yep.
That's why he got so much more work in that game. So that's
Yeah.
probably not something I'm going to overreact to.
Okay. Fair enough. For some other people that are flexible this week that are probably on your waiver wire, or they might be. First one I have to say is Troy Franklin. Over the last 3 weeks, he is averaging 9 targets and a touchdown per game. He had 2 in one, none, and then 1 in the third one. So he is averaging a touchdown and 9 targets per game over the last 3 weeks. And he faces the Chiefs this week, in which could be, I don't want to say a high scoring shootout, but it could be a high scoring affair with 2 very doable offenses in the Broncos and the Chiefs. So pick up Troy Franklin if you need a flex spot. He's got good boom potential with how fast he is out there. And then the only other one I'll mention as well is Shakir, Buffalo's wide receiver, because they play a tough Tampa Bay Buccaneers team in which there's going to be some touchdowns put up in that game. They're going to need to score some points to win. So I do like Shakir in that game against Tampa Bay as well.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a chance where Jerry Jeudy got dropped in any leagues, he's also interesting. He had 20 points last week. Hasn't done a whole lot most of the season, so by far his best game. You could scoop him if that's something that could continue here. Obviously, very talented receiver. And I gave you guys Darius Slayton last week. He did pretty well, 90 yards, no touchdowns. If Jackson Dart's healthy, I still think he is a good option going forward as well. So I like those two guys there. What else you got for us, Adam?
It's looking pretty good. That is looking pretty good.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in to the Fantasy Football Channel. We'll catch you guys in the next one.